Hello everyone. So today, oh by the way, happy new year. By the time I'm uploading this, it's going to be a whole brand new year. I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas and New Year's with your family and friends. If you've got any goals for the year, feel free to let me know what they are. I haven't really set a New Year's resolution just yet. Like, I guess my focus this year is just to get through this pregnancy and give birth and adjust to being a mum and all of that stuff, which is going to be a challenge. It's going to be exciting, it's going to be rewarding, it's going to be all of the emotions, I'm sure. So on that topic, as you can see from the title, today's video is a question and answer. So I'll probably do one or two more of these throughout my pregnancy, like another one later on, because I'm sure you'll have different questions as my pregnancy progresses. As I'm filming this, I am at 15 weeks pregnant, but when you see this video, I'm going to be about maybe 17, 18 weeks pregnant. I'll write it in the down bar if I remember, otherwise just leave a comment and I'll reply if I do forget, because these brains are a little bit away from me at the moment, if you know what I mean. And if you haven't seen my first trimester video just yet, I will link that down below, because I feel like some of these questions I kind of answered more in depth in that video, so some of you may not have seen it yet. Definitely recommend watching that because I just really like that video. It's one of my favorite ones I've done. What prenatals are you taking and any other meds to help? Big congrats. So I went and saw my doctor, I think it was like the end of 2020. So while I'm filming this was like a year ago. I just went to talk to my doctor about my health, about my thyroid, because I was letting them know that, you know, I was going to start trying for a baby after we got married. So I just asked, like, is there anything I need to do, you know, blah blah blah. I got some folate and started taking that straight away from the doctor. And I also started taking prenatals, which heaps of you guys know because I showed them in like a video or something like that, like a vlog. I started taking them at like the start of the year also, because I wanted to make sure my body had all the nutrients it needed to, you know, support a new life if that happened for me. I wasn't sure how long it would take me to get pregnant, but I just wanted to start taking them anyway, just to try and give my body the best basis that I could. I was taking the Be Pure, well still am taking the Be Pure prenatals, and I've just got folate from my doctor. And folate is super important for baby development in that first trimester, and I'm still taking it. You don't have to take it after the first trimester, but I've got like maybe 2 weeks left, so I'm just finishing it off. I checked that with my midwife. She's happy for me to just stop taking it or continue taking it, like whatever I like. So I think I'm just gonna like finish taking them. I've done lots of research if it's beneficial to have folate throughout the whole pregnancy. That's something you need to do for yourself if you're pregnant. I feel like I'm just gonna finish them and then continue with my prenatals, which I'll take throughout pregnancy and then on to breastfeeding. Those already have a little bit of folate in them as well, so you just don't need that, like, you know, super topped up version, I guess, that you do have in that first trimester. By the way, kind of obvious, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a midwife, I'm not a professional. You need to check everything with your own doctor and midwife. Don't just take what I'm saying. How long had you guys tried to get pregnant? So we started trying straight after the wedding, basically. Hamish kind of initiated it. We talked about it before the wedding that we would, like, you know, try after the wedding, and he just committed one day. I was like, all right, let's go, we're doing it now. I don't think we were really trying on the correct days at first. I was still trying to figure out when I was ovulating. I was following my Flow chart. So Flow is an app. I had paid for like the subscribed version of it, and I was using that for ages, ever since I'm pretty sure I stopped taking the pill, or like maybe like a little bit after that, which was a fair while ago now. If you guys watch my vlogs, you know I've been off the pill for like, how long would it be now, guys? Like 3 years or so. It's been a while, and I did that on purpose because I wanted just to have my body kind of more, you know, natural, like just not be relying on the pill and just let everything kind of like do its thing naturally. And I don't know, it was just my logic. I just didn't like the thought of the pill anymore, to be honest. I was on it for so long, like since I was like 15. I'm so out of breath. This is my big thing right now. I'm like out of breath all the time. So I was using Flow just to track my periods to see if they were regular, and just like so I could kind of figure out when I would be due for my period. I wasn't using it as a method of what do you say, like contraceptive. Like I wasn't using the ovulation method to not get pregnant. I was literally just using Flow to see when my period would be and just to track everything. And obviously, like, ovulation is such an important thing when you're trying to get pregnant. Like, you need to be doing it on those right days. I did end up getting getting ovulation kits around maybe like June and started using them, and I realized the app was out by a couple of days, so like perhaps some of those months I wasn't really doing it at the exact right time that my body needed. So the ovulation kits really helped. I'll list those down below. The brand, I think it's the Clear Blue brand, maybe it's just like the generic, you know, one that everyone sells. And I would just buy them online. I went through like 4 or 5 of those kits, so I don't know if that works out, but either way, I've still got some in my cupboard. Don't really need them anymore. And those were really good to kind of pinpoint when to get at it, you know? Yeah, we were trying since our wedding, which was Feb, but properly, I reckon we would have had like 4 or 5 times when we actually did it when we needed to be doing it, if that makes sense. So I feel so lucky. I didn't know how long it would take. That's why we kind of got at it. I think this is like a kind of question later on, but you know, we had those thoughts like, okay, all of our ducks are in a row. I wanted to be married before I had a baby, ideally. If we'd happened to fall pregnant prior to our wedding, like whatever. Like whatever happened, because I love Hamish and he loves me and we were committed and all of that jazz, so like it's not the end of the world. But ideally in my mind I was like, marriage would be nice first, have the wedding. We were planning on building our house, which, you know, it's kind of getting done at the moment. It's a little bit slow right now because of COVID. There's been big delays on our framework and everything. That's why I haven't done any little updates on the house lately, because nothing's really happened. There's some scaffolding that went up and that's literally it, but you know, like it's all on the move. So it was just like the right time for us. We'd traveled a lot. Like I think COVID made us think about a baby a lot more as well, because you know, we were so busy and you know, we had a very like active lifestyles and like going away places and doing a lot of things and lots of partying and going to lots of festivals and things like that. So like once COVID kind of hit, like, you know, we've just been kind of sitting around for a while and we've done so many amazing things in our life. I just feel more ready. I think Hamish felt more ready, just knowing like we've got everything set up. We've had so many amazing experiences already and we've still got time in the future for more, but you know, we wanted to like enjoy our youth before having a baby. Like this feels like the perfect timing for me. I used to say back when I was like 20, like if I had a child, because I wasn't sure back then, I was like, I want to be at least 27. That was always my age. And I hit 27, I was like, not yet. So I feel like 29's good. I'm 29 right now. I feel like this is like just good for me. It's like my right time. I feel like I'm answering all the questions without reading them out. What gender are you both hoping for? We do not care. That sounds so, like everyone says that, but we genuinely don't. Like I've been convinced that my baby is a girl and I've been convinced my baby is a boy. We do not care. And if we do have a second baby, we also don't care. Because if it's the same sex as, you know, first baby, cool, they'll be mates hopefully. If it's the opposite, cool, you get one of each. Like who cares? Like I just don't care at all. You know, as everyone says, I just want a healthy baby. Do we have any baby names picked out yet? Yeah, we have a couple, but we haven't really talked about them too much more. Like we've got like one of each sex that we kind of like the thought of, but haven't committed to anything or talked about others that we might like yet, because we don't know what the sex of the baby is yet. Did I feel pregnant before I found out? No, not really. I just had normal kind of like pre-period symptoms, I would say. I've kind of talked about this in my first trimester video, but my nipples really hurt. I had one day where I felt just shitty, and I don't usually get like bad mood swings when like I'm on my period or about to get my period. Like I might have like, you know, moderate ones, but not like hard out ones where I'm just like fucked off for no reason, like just real weird. And then in hindsight I'm like, oh, it must have been my hormones going nuts. But then it never happened again once I found out I was pregnant. Like it only happened like one time before I found out. It would have been like 5 days before I found out. Other than that, yeah, didn't really have any clue. Like I said, I had my first COVID vaccine, felt a little bit nauseous that night, but I put it down to the vaccine. And then the next day I was like, I'm just going to take a test because I'm due for my period tomorrow, and it was positive. And I was like, the fuck? One of you said, are you excited to have your baby so soon after Kelly? If you guys don't know, Kelly's one of my best friends. It's not Kelly that you guys have seen back in the day at my dad's house, not that Kelly. She doesn't want children. My other friend Kelly, who I was her bridesmaid, she was one of my bridesmaids, and we've been friends for a few years now. She's one of my best friends. I love her so much. We click. We just vibe on the same levels. She's the one that came to Tokyo with me, so you may have seen her in that vlog. And to answer the question, hell yeah, it's amazing. It's so funny. We had our hens around the same time, we got engaged around the same time, we had our weddings around the same time, we got pregnant kind of around the same time. Our babies will be like 6 months apart. So by the time you're watching this, she would have given birth for sure, because she's kind of due around now. But this video is going up in a couple of weeks. So, and yes, so excited that we're kind of like going through this journey somewhat together as well. And she's been a godsend because I'm like, you know, just bouncing my feelings off her as well, because she's, you know, gone through this so recently. So it's really nice to have someone to talk to. It's the best. Are you gonna find out the sex? Yes, 100%, definitely. Me and Hamish are so impatient. We cannot wait. We did not do the test where you can find out the gender. We did do the NIPT or whatever it's called, like the standard one that you do through your midwife. So it tests for genetic disorders. Basically, it checks for things like Down syndrome, and I think it's Edwards syndrome and some more. And our baby had like a 1 in 16,000. What was it? Let me look it up. 1 in 42,000 and 1 in 100,000 for the other two rarer syndromes. So yeah, I did that one. And there's the other one which is similar to that one, and I guess they also can find out the gender of the baby through the blood test as well. But I think here in New Zealand it costs like $800 or $900 or something like that. And me and Hamish were just like, we don't really want to find out that badly that early. You know, like we'll happily just wait till our next scan. I'm just happy that baby is, you know, looking healthy, looking like it is developing on track, and the heartbeat's great. Like I'm just thankful for all of that, and I'm so excited to find out the sex. But like I can still wait a few more weeks. It's like 5 more weeks away, or like only a couple more weeks by the time you see this probably. I'm happy to wait, but I'm so excited to find out, so I can kind of like plan a bit more. Like I can plan the nursery a bit more, even though I kind of like very neutral, like gender neutral stuff, and same with clothing. I kind of like gender neutral like a lot of the time. I don't know, we'll just see. I'm just gonna buy whatever I like. I'm pregnant and don't enjoy it. Have you enjoyed it so far? Definitely. I don't know, it's been weird. I'm just so excited, like it's a new journey. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm shit scared. I worry, like, am I gonna be a good mom? But I figure if I'm worried about that, surely that means like I will be a good mum. If I'm worried about being a good mum, like I've got my mind in the right headspace, if you know what I mean. Like I know that all I care about already is just the well-being of the baby. So I've enjoyed it. I don't care that I can't eat sushi or like drink or anything. I haven't even cared like at all. Obviously, like you have the moments that are like painful, or like you feel sick and all those different things, but I guess I knew what I was getting myself into. Like I knew that like especially that early pregnancy was gonna be a journey, with symptoms and side effects and all of those different things. So I kind of just like, I don't know, I just accepted it. Whenever I felt sick, I was like, it means that something's happening. Or like whenever I feel sore, like crampy and stretchy, like I'm getting those stretching pains, what are they called, like the ligament pains, I'm like, my baby is growing. Like I'm just trying to look at the bright side, and I just feel like really happy and like at peace with, you know, the fact that I'm growing a human. Like it's really exciting, and I feel really lucky to be doing it as well. But hey, ask me again in the next video when I'm like heavily pregnant, because I hear that's when a lot of people start to get very over it. The size, the weight, the back pain, like all of those things that come with it. How many kids do you want to have? I think you said 3 and Hamish said 2. Hamish says 1. I say 2. I'm happy with 1. I guess we'll just see how the first one goes. Weirdest cravings. I haven't had anything weird really. I've just kind of craved like childhood foods, stuff that I grew up eating. I haven't really, craved weird things. I've craved McDonald's a lot, which is strange because like out of all of the fast food like drive-through places like Burger King, KFC, Carl's Jr., etc., like Macca's is usually like my last choice, but I don't know, I like fiend over some Macca's honestly. Natural or medicated labor, have you thought about it yet? Only briefly. Like I'm still so early on in my pregnancy, I'm not even halfway. I've briefly thought about it, but I feel like it's at that point where like my mind might change later on. But I'd like to think that I'll see how I go, and then, you know, I'll just see how the pain is. I'm not against having a medicated pregnancy at all, but natural sounds positive as well. I'm kind of just in that mindset where I'll just see how I go. What are you finding the hardest about being pregnant? Probably just the fatigue. I'm not as productive as I'm used to being, and it's good because I'm not beating myself up about it. You know, in the past, if I was like tired or sick or jet lagged or something, I would kind of beat myself up. I'm like, you need to be doing stuff. You need to be productive. You need to be editing. You need to be uploading. You need to be filming. You need to be doing all these things. But pregnant, I'm like, I'm exhausted. I literally can't even stare at my computer screen without going dizzy. Who cares? Like, people will understand, and I've got such a different mindset, which is really good and important, I think, because otherwise I would just be beating myself up constantly. I'm just always tired. I feel like baby went through a huge growth spurt at like 13 to 14 weeks because holy crap, that was tiredness like no other. Got a little bit more energy now, but you know, it comes and goes. So like today, like I had a bit of energy, I'm like, boom, let's film something. Breastfeeding with implants, possible? Are there any risks? I get this question all the time. So my implants, from memory, I mean, I'd have to go watch the videos. I've got the little like cards in my safe, like that have all the info about my implants on them. I need to go get them and have a look. That'd be the easiest way. But anyways, pretty sure they're like under the muscle, which means yes, theoretically you can breastfeed. I'm definitely going to try and just see how I go once again. I'm not going to beat myself up if it's not a happening thing, but I definitely 100% really do want to try breastfeeding. Like, it's just something I would like to do. My midwife thinks that I should be fine. We had a brief chat about it. We'll probably chat about it more in the future. Any risks? I haven't really researched it enough yet. I'll get to that, but as far as I've been told so far, don't think so. Was the baby planned? Yes, I guess I've already answered that, but 100%. It was definitely wanted on both sides. Did you ever feel discouraged, as you said you've been trying since your wedding? I mean, sometimes I had like a little moment, but I think that was just because of comparison. I know 2 people that got pregnant like basically like the second try kind of vibes. So like, you know, once I'd been trying like 3 or 4 times, I was like, oh my god, is there something wrong with me? But then I would literally like be like, Shannon, pull your fucking head in. It can take up to like a year and still be normal. So, you know, my doctor told me like, if I'm trying for over a year, go and have a chat to them. They can do some more tests and everything. Yeah, I just tried to remember that and just thought, you know, what will be will be. There are so many options out there, I guess. Like, I just tried to stay positive and just tried not to think about it too much. Of course, like every now and then, like, I guess because I'd be on my period too, so I'd just be like a bit sad on my period or something like that. I'd be like, oh, I've got my period. I have people messaging me being like, I've tried for like 3 months and I'm not pregnant yet. It is like an exact, almost like one of those things, like you've got to be doing it at the right time. Even then it may not happen. Like, give yourself time, try to relax. And like everyone says, like, hey, it might happen when you're least expecting it. I think when you're putting so much pressure on your body and you're stressing out about it so much, it makes the experience harder for you, for your body. Just try to like relax, seek help if you do need it, and just remember that things can take time. Like, they can really just take some time, and just look after yourself, look after your mental health. Just try to keep yourself in a good headspace. Someone said, did you use anything different the month that you conceived? Nope, nothing different. In fact, I think that month, I don't know, like we barely did it. And I think we did it one time or something, and I was like, oh, it probably won't happen. I was in that mindset of just being like, what will be will be. And then that ended up being the month that it worked. So there you go. Who did I tell first aside from Hamish? My cousin Ainsley, the one that has the twins, the little twinnies in Australia. I didn't even tell her, like I just like sent her, what was it? I talked about this in my first trimester video. It was like a dot or something, and she was like, you're pregnant? I was like, yeah. Did you feel apprehensive about getting the second vaccine while pregnant? Thing is, like, so many people around the world, like the vaccines have been going for ages now, right? And there have been people that, you know, didn't know they were pregnant while they got their vaccinations and things like that, gone on to have super healthy, beautiful babies. They've been able to collect data from afterwards. If any of you guys are, you know, thinking about all of these things as well, or worried about them, because 100%, like, that's fine to be worried about. Obviously, you're growing a life. You need to do what's right for you. I looked up Morgan C. Edwards on Instagram. I will put her Instagram down below. She talks about everything COVID, but she is an anaesthetist, I think, and links like resources and scientific evidence and things. So you can go check her out. Reading everything she was talking about definitely made me feel a lot better, because a lot of people were asking the same questions that I kind of had, because I was researching this before getting pregnant as well. I feel comfortable with the decision I made, and it's all about you feeling comfortable with the decision you make as well. But if you do want to look into any of those like resources, then yeah, I'll link her down below. Doesn't the idea of being responsible for another human fucking terrify you? Yes and no. I guess, like, I just know that I'm going to do my best, and I feel like I'm a good person. I know there's many people on the internet that want to think that I'm an evil witch, but I think I have good morals. I think I have good ethics. I think I care a lot about people. I have empathy. I think I have, like, you know, just overall good values that I can pass down to another person and kind of teach them to be the best that they can be. And a nice person to other people. And I think that's all you kind of need to do, and keep them safe, which I will do my best at, you know? That's all you can do as a mother, is just like do your very best for your babies, for your children. So does that terrify me? Like, I just don't think about it too hard. I just know that I'm going to do my best. Will our house be finished before Bub arrives? No. Baby is due June. And our house probably won't be done till like October or so. I mean, at this rate anyway, because of, you know, all of the delays and everything, but fingers crossed. But baby will just kind of be in our room mostly, I guess, like when they're a newborn, like sleeping next to us or whatever happens. We haven't really figured it all out yet, obviously. But, you know, I don't think they'll be in their own nursery per se at that stage. However, I think I'm going to just clean out the spare room a little bit and just get the basics in there. But I probably won't actually do a full-blown nursery until we have the new house, when they will be, I don't know, like a few months old, 6 months old, or I don't even know how old they'll be. But I just don't think there's much point in like creating a hard-out nursery at this house, because we're definitely not going to be here for a long time. Do you know where you want to have a birth, like at home, hospital, water birth, etc.? Congrats. Thank you. Probably just the hospital, to be honest. Here in New Zealand you can do a home birth, you can do your birthing centre, which is similar to the hospital but a little bit different, and then you've got the hospital. I don't know, I just like the thought of everything being right there if I need it. But once again, I might change my mind later. How have your loved ones reacted to the news? I told my mum for my first, you know, family member other than my cousin. She barely even, like, I printed out a poem and she barely even read it. She was like, yeah, like, I knew it. So she was very excited. She went off and bought like some bibs immediately. Literally like an hour later she turned up and she was like, look what I bought you. Hamish's mum, like, she was so happy, but she was like, well, it can't be a baby, because she knew, like, you know, she was so excited. Literally her speech at the wedding was like, can't wait to have kids. So she was kind of like, no, you can't be pregnant. And then we were like, yep. And she like literally was just so excited. She popped the champers. She was like, let's go. Everyone's just very excited. It's really cool. Am I shopping a lot for the baby? No, not yet. Like I mentioned, like I'm kind of just waiting until I find out the sex of the baby, and then can kind of like go from there, even though a lot of the stuff I like is kind of like gender neutral anyway. But I have bought some baby Air Force Ones, because I wear Air Force Ones like every single day. So I bought baby ones and I bought a swaddle and like a little pinboard thing and stuff like that. But I haven't actually bought any clothes yet for baby, but I have some stuff I've got my eye on Instagram. So yeah, maybe in a couple of months I'll start buying some more things. Are you comfortable with knowing the whole world knows your private family life? Well, they only know what I choose to share with them. I share things with my viewers that I want to share, and I'm fine with that. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't do it. Did you change anything prior to trying to get pregnant? Not really. Heaps of people change their diet and change all these different things. Like, I didn't really change anything, except I didn't like binge drink every weekend and do stuff like that. Like I cut back on my alcohol like so much this whole year. Like I used to drink like every weekend with my friends, but I stopped doing that. I just kind of drank like occasionally, and it worked out well, because it was usually if I was on my period. Like if I wasn't sure if I was pregnant or not, then I wouldn't, you know, drink a whole lot of alcohol, because I don't feel comfortable with that. And it's quite funny because we went out for dinner like a week before I found out I was pregnant. And I got a single glass of red wine. I was like, I haven't had a red wine in a while, so I got it. And I got a steak, and like I ate it and I drank like 3 mouthfuls of my wine. I was just like, I just don't feel like it. And I wonder if it's like my body knew I was pregnant, and so my brain was just like, this like is unnecessary, you know. So I gave it to Hamish, so that's quite funny. Don't know if it was a sign or not, but hey. Are pickles actually a pregnancy craving? I'm so curious. You know what, I just crave pickles 24/7 before pregnancy and I still love them, thank goodness. What birth control method were you using? When I came off the pill, like Hamish and I started using like condoms, but I don't know, we were kind of lazy with contraceptives. Don't recommend, obviously. But yeah, like I said earlier, we were kind of just like, if we get pregnant, we get pregnant. Like, we're in a committed relationship, we love each other, like, it's fine. But we weren't trying, so. Louis is a needy dog. Do you worry how he'll cope with the baby? I don't worry too much. He's definitely needy, but he'll still get attention, and he's mostly needy in terms of just liking to be around you. It's not like he wants to be held in your arms and like stuff like that. If we're just in bed at night, like he doesn't even want cuddles, he just wants to like be with us. So he'll still be with us when the baby's there. And whenever I've had like babies at my house, like my nieces, he just kind of likes to sit with them and just like watch over them. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. I feel like most of these questions now I've kind of answered in one way or another throughout this video, so I think I'll just end it here. And if you do have more questions, feel free to list them down below so I can answer them in the next video. Some of you may be wondering, do I have a bump yet? It's just kind of super bloated, but by the time I upload this video, hopefully I'll have a proper bump. This is the actual size of baby right now. 11.6 centimeters. I think that's from head to bum. 100 grams. Like teeny tiny. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for the questions and for the support and for the congratulations and for the love and just everything. We feel the love. Of course there's always like the kind of negative people as well, but just all of the love, like that's all I feel. I'm so excited to share this journey with you guys. I'm just so thankful for everything that's happened so far. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.